Okay, let's get started. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Bolo. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ramachana.
Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ramachana.
Yasodhanandana Braja Jana.
Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ramachana.
Yasodhanandana Braja Jana.
Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ramachana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astaya Srimad Divine Grace Iskanpanacharya Sila Etsi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astaya Srimad Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridasa Gaur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kahau Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Gadadara Se Vazari Se Gaur Bhakta Ki Jai. Sisi Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Subhadar Mazur Dham Ki Jai. Simayapana Dham Ki Jai. Jaganpur Dham Ki Jai. Gangamaya Yamunamaya Ke Jai, Samata Tosa Dev Bhakti Dev Ke Jai, Sama Veda Bhakti Dev Ke Jai, Thy glory.
Haribo.
All glory is to the sum of devotees, all glory is to the sum of devotees, all glory is to the sum of
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
All glory is to Sister Gauranga Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana Namaskritya Narancheva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasa Tato Jaya Madhvirai Nasya Prayesha Bhadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamam Shloke Bhakti Bhagavati Nashtiki. So Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 5, chapter 8, text 11 to 12. Title of this chapter is the character of Bharat Maharaj. Iti Kirtanu Sangha Asana Sayanata Snana Sanadishu Saha Brigaja Guna Sneha Nubhada Hridaya Sit. Please kindly respond to repeat the word-for-word translation and then the translation of Prabhupada. Divine grace is confirmed. So it's Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Iti thus Krita Anusangaha having developed attachment Asana sitting Sayana lying down Atana walking Snana bathing Asana adishu while eating and so on Saha Vriga Jaguna with the deer calf. Sneha Anubhada captivated by affection. Hridaya his heart. Acid became. Translation: due to attachment for the deer, Maharaj Bharata laid down with it, walked about with it, bathed with it, and even ate with it. Thus his heart became bound to the deer in affection. Please kindly respond and repeat. Due to attachment for the deer, Maharaj Bharata laid down with it, walked about with it, bathed with it, and even ate with it. Thus his heart became bound to the deer in affection. I'm sorry, became bound to the deer. Okay, so this is an interesting story. So this has no purport here. We'll go to the next text 12. Kusa kusuma samid palasa pala molodakani arisya manu brikasala brikadibyo bayam asama samanu yarasaha harina Gunukena Banam Samam Dishati. Word for word translation, please kindly respond. Kusa, a kind of grass required for ritualistic ceremonies.
a kind of grass required for ritualistic ceremonies.
Kusuma,
Kusuma,
flowers.
flowers.
Samit,
Summit,
firewood.
firewood.
Palasa,
Palasa,
leaves.
leaves.
Falamula,
Palamula,
fruits and roots.
fruits and roots.
Udakani,
Udakani,
and water.
and water.
Arishyamanaha,
Arishyamanaha,
desiring to collect.
desiring to collect.
Vrikasala vrika,
Rikashalamrika,
vrikasala vrika,
Rikashalamrika,
from wolves and dogs.
from wolves and dogs.
Adibyaha,
Adibya,
and other animals such as tigers.
and other animals such as tigers.
Bayam,
Bhayam,
fear.
fear.
Asama samanaha,
Asana samana,
doubting.
doubting.
Yada,
Yada,
when.
when.
Saha,
Saha,
wait.
wait.
Harina, kurna, kena,
Haya Kurahaya,
the deer calf.
the deer cow.
Vanam,
Vanam,
the forest.
the forest.
Samavisati,
Samavisati,
enters.
enters.
Translation. When Bharat Maharaj wanted to enter the forest to collect kusa grass, flowers, wood, leaves, fruits, roots, and water, he would fear that dogs, jackals, tigers, and other ferocious animals might kill the deer. He would therefore always take the deer with him when entering the forest. Please kindly respond. Repeat. When Bharat Maharaj
When Maharaj
wanted to enter the forest
wanted to enter the forest
to collect kusa grass,
to collect busha grass,
flowers, wood, leaves,
flowers, wood, leaves,
fruits, roots, and water,
fruits, roots, and water.
he would fear that dogs, jackals, tigers,
He will fear the dogs, jackals, tigers,
and other ferocious animals
and other ferocious animals
might kill the deer.
might kill the deer.
He would therefore always take the deer with him
He will therefore always take the deer with him
when entering the forest.
when entering the forest.
Purport. How Maharaj Bharat increases affection for the deer is described here. Even such an exalted personality as Bharat Maharaj, who had attained loving affection for the Supreme Personality of God, fell down from his position due to his affection for some animal. Consequently, as will be seen, he had to accept the body of the deer in his next life. Since this was the case with Bharat Maharaj, what can we say of those who are not advanced in spiritual life, but who become attached to cats and dogs? Due to the affection for their cats and dogs, they have to take the same body forms in the next life unless they clearly increase their affection and love for the Supreme Personality of God. Unless we increase our faith in the Supreme Lord, we shall be attracted to many other things. Unless we increase our faith in the Supreme Lord, we shall be attracted to many other things. That is the cause of our material bondage. That is the cause of our material bondage. Swayam Rupa Kadaya Vedanta Svampadantika. Bande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodhara Vidaya Pusavato Jita Chaitanya. Vanchakalpatari Puja. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna, Prishaya Bhutale, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gauravani, Namaste, Shunya Mahadi, Vasanta, Sujata. So welcome to this segment of the morning program, Bhagavatam class, Bhagavatam discussion, sharing and caring in the context of the Bhagavatam. So, due to text 11, due to attachment for the deer, Maharaja laid down with it, walked about with it, bathed with it, and even ate with it. Thus his heart became bound to the deer in affection. So, when Maharaja wanted to enter the forest to collect kusa grass, flowers, food, leaves, fruits, roots, water, he would fear that dogs, jackals, tigers, and other ferocious animals might kill the deer. He would therefore always take the deer with him when entering the forest. So, again, on the concept of attachment, affection. Should we call this love? This is love? No love? Acha? Hey, this is love, right? But did not love the deer?
Love.
Huh?
Love.
He loved the deer, man.
Yes.
Yes.
He loved the deer.
He loved deer.
He loved the deer. Acha. Any opposite polarity, any contradictory opinion? Any contradictory opinion? See, he was always, hanging out with the deer. Isn't that love? Yeah, so Bharat was very much attached to this deer. You can be attached, we can be attached to something, but that does not necessarily mean love. So, because the very concept of love has been misconstrued for centuries. And so we've been misguided by this very misconception. But then we see, even his love, why would Bharat think bad as a dog? As a deer in the next life. Love should elevate the soul, not degrade the soul. This is the distinctive difference between love and mundane attachment. We can be attached to anything. Prabhupada gives in purpose. People are attached to their dogs. I've seen in America, I don't know what the case here, in Switzerland, and in America it's just so common. Even during the snow, people are walking with their dogs. Oh yeah. In fact, I know the case of one lady, when she was passing away, she willed her wealth to the dog. Oh yeah. She was very rich, and when, in her will, she willed all her money to her dog. She didn't have any kids, so she willed her money to her dog. So, obviously, Prabhupada said it all in the Bhagavatam. The beauty of attachment is that you attain that platform. That's the beauty of attachment. You attain that platform. We attach to the Supreme Lord, we'll attain that platform. How is that? Because Krishna will facilitate at the time of death for us to remember him. If we attach to a deer, Krishna will also facilitate. Krishna is the wish fulfilling desire of all living beings since time immemorial. I mean, sometimes people query, I got into this trouble, why did God exist? God existed, why did he allow it? This is simply not in our aspirations. Or one could argue, but this is bad, they should have redirected my cause. How did that work? What would that mean for someone who is loved and has their independence and free will? Is there anybody here who likes to be controlled by anybody? Is there anybody here who likes to be controlled by anybody?
Sometimes.
You like to be controlled by anybody? Acha? You too?
No.
Okay. Who likes to be controlled by anybody? Rather, we like to control. That's our nature. We are small Ishwaras or Ishwaris. We like to control. We don't like to be controlled by anybody. See, even a toddler said, Govinda is just 2 years old. He told Govinda, sit down there. That's the time Govinda will stand up. Just to demonstrate to you that, hey, I'm not under control. So, yeah, we don't like to be controlled, but we like to control the whole world. Yeah. So, there's nothing wrong in becoming affectionate towards an object of affection, but where it will lead us to, that is the problem. Where it will lead us. It will always lead us to some place, something, some situation. And therefore, the Bhagavatam is giving us some illumination, some light, how to live our lives in this material world, so that we don't get into trouble. So that we don't have to devolve, we should evolve. There are two things, evolution and devolution. Bala went into the process of devolution in his next phase of life. From human being to a deer, that's not a good, that's not a milestone. Is it a milestone? It's not an achievement. Yeah. And therefore, it happened to Bharat, it can happen to us. Yet, Krishna, I mentioned this place also yesterday. Krishna said in the Gita, Yam Yam Bhati Smaram Bhava, Tejate Antikali. The object of our attachment will be reflected at the time of death. The whole video of our attachments will be replayed at the time of death. These attachments, they are in the subconscious plane. And during the time of death, all of these attachments will be replayed. Like you put some videotape in a video machine, so you can rewind it to replay. It will rewind. Everything in our consciousness will be rewinded to replay. And then what our objects of attachment, the time we are quitting, that is the time it beeps. That is science. That's how we attain our object of attachment. The next phase of existence, that we attain that platform. We remember Krishna, the whole idea of Krishna consciousness, we're trying to develop attachment to Krishna. So we chant Hare Krishna every day. It's not just for fun. It's preparatory. It's a preparatory process. It's a prep process, preparatory process. For that exam. If you have exam, you have to prepare for it. Is it? Yes. And if you read every day, I tell my students, read every day as if you have registered on this course. Read every day as if the exam is tomorrow. Read. You have to read so intensely as if the exam is tomorrow. So that you don't have any apprehension, no fears. When, if even someone wakes you up, hey, it's time for exam, you can walk into the exam hall. Because fear of exam could cause so much of mental health challenges. So similarly, people who do not know their next phase of existence, who are not sure about their conscious awareness of the Supreme, they don't know, they are just afraid of death. This is the reason why when people want to die, when people are about to die, they feel so frightened. Sometimes, they mess up themselves, they pass stool, they pass urine, and all this because of fear. So, Krishna consciousness is about preparing us to overcome this type of fear. It's about helping us to create authentic attachment. And what is authentic attachment? The Supreme Personality of God. Attachment is there. Attachment, we guarantee it. Attachment, for sure, we'll get attachment. But what is the object of attachment? That is the challenge. No one can stay without attachment. It's an endogenous emotion. It is bound to be there. The object of attachment is to be determined. How do we determine that? By our thoughts. Our thoughts. The Gita, what is that verse in the Gita? Lord Krishna says, by contemplating on the object of the sensing modality of the senses, you will develop attachment. That's how to develop attachment. You want to develop attachment for anything, just think about it. So yeah. It's not some magic. You don't need to engage in some type of super ingenious scientific process to be attached to anything. Just think about it. Constantly think about it. In other words, make that object your deity. The Lord Krishna said, always think of me. Yes, that is how to develop attachment. You want to develop attachment for any object, a dog, a cat, think about that cat or dog all the time. That becomes your Krishna. Oh yeah. Attachment is not a difficulty to develop attachment. It's a very simple process. It begins with contemplation, thinking. Then you become attached, then you become crazy about that object. You start, but I was crazy about. It's there. How many lovers, they act like that? They go to the toilet with the lover. They go to the forest to fetch wood with the lover. Huh? I know, I've seen husband and wives and boyfriend and girlfriend in America, they are very attached every time they're together. But when you go to the toilet, the other person does not follow them to the toilet room. The Christian follows us to the toilet room. Who loves us most? Who is more attached to us? Krishna is more attached to us than we can think of. He follows us to the toilet room. You show me you are a lover that follows you to the toilet room. The Krishna does. As a super soul, he does. Follows us everywhere. I've never also seen any lover that follows their beloved, the object of love, to jail. They cannot even go visit. No, they don't follow you to jail. Are you hearing?
I'm listening.
Yes. Don't try it. Because nobody's going to follow you to jail. So, see, our philosophy is very is down to earth, very practical. You can see the things around. It's not something abstract. It's not like calculus that is something abstract. That you have to think. No, you see the things around. People move their affection from one object to the other. One object to the other. I've seen this. I've seen people who got married. Man was very rich, but the man became poor, and then the woman, evacuated or relocated or dumped him. He goes pick up another man. Which what to do? You hearing this? Yes, you should hear it. So, men do. I've seen also cases where a man is very attracted to a woman, and then the woman had an accident, some burns, and then, disfigured her face. The man was going to the hospital regularly, every day in the beginning. Then, after some times, he goes once in a week, and then after some times, he goes once in a month. And then after some time, then he completely he changed his object of affection. So in this material world, we have to be careful. We should not repose our affection unnecessarily in some mundane objects that will lead us to the brink of disaster. But sometimes people ask, so how am I going to know what is what? How am I going to know where to repose my affection? We cannot say. Everything in this material world is a trinomial. In mathematics, there's a terminology. It's called trinomial. Trinomial means trial and error. You try this process, you try this formula, you try this formula. You try it this way, you try it this way. This is trinomial. Our existence is just trinomial. Social structure and everything is a trinomial. It's trial and error. You're lucky, it clicks. You're not lucky, forget it. That's how people even commit suicide. So, Bharat Maharaja's case is a good lesson. Yeah, Bharat Maharaja's case is a good lesson for us. We should not be attached to cats and dogs. But if you have a cat and a dog, how many people have cats and dogs in their homes here? You have a cat?
A cat, yeah.
Okay. What about a dog? So, yeah, you love your cat? Yes, of course. Who else has some animal at home? There's nothing wrong in having an animal. Do you have an animal? Which one? The dog?
Guinea pigs.
What is it?
Guinea pigs. Yeah. How many?
I think 3.
Three. You love them?
No.
This girl, she is smart. If you don't love them, why are you keeping them?
I mean, I'm not keeping them, but my mom keeps them.
Oh, yeah, mom. Yeah, so, yeah, see, the pets, we normally keep pets. Keeping of pets is very popular in Western countries. Even in India, people are keeping dogs now. There's nothing wrong in keeping dogs. Nothing wrong in keeping cats. And the problem is our consciousness. When Prabhupada wanted to marry another woman at some point in time. Right? He said he wasn't compatible with his wife. So his father said, that's good for you. You can do something very easily. The whole idea is that we should try to gradually dovetail our affection in devotional service. We have affection for any object, we'll be highly disappointed. Highly disappointed. I know of cases where people have so much affection for people they consider in their family their lovable objects. Their cousins, their uncle, their parents, and all this type of stuff. And then later they go and they discover some things at some later part of their life, and they become completely disgusted with the whole set. So Krishna teaches some people in a hard way. Because the very conception that we should not be attached to material objects, sometimes it doesn't ring a bell in our ears. And so we need to have some lived experience that exposes us to these so-called objects of love, how dangerous they are. So, Maharaj took bed as a deer in his next life. People talk about evolution, but there is also devolution in the science of Krishna consciousness. Very clearly so. Yes, there is evolution, then there is also devolution. The soul evolves from one platform to the other until different species before taking platform of human being, coming to the platform of human being. And if the human life is misused, is abused, we can evolve and go down. This is the beauty of this particular life. That's a check and balance. So it's a warning for us. Bala's case is a warning for us. How to refocus our affection on a little object that will not get us into trouble. Any questions or comments? Yes, please.
Hi, Krishna Maharaja. Thank you for the lecture.
You're welcome.
So my question is, we're divided into two parts somehow. We were talking about developing attachment and attraction toward Krishna. My question is, as a human being, I think, or it's common that we get attached to someone or something that we see or we deal with the whole time. Even, for example, if we travel somewhere, we forgot about the people that we used to know before, or like this attraction or attachment dissolves somehow. So I want to know more, like, what's the mechanism in a human being behind this? Why it's really hard to develop attachment to Krishna, though we see him, but maybe not in person, or I don't know. And when you have a strong attachment towards someone, so he or she will be your sense object. So the solution to resolve this is just to detach yourself from the sense object. But thank you.
That's a nice question, practical question. Yeah, see, I mentioned also earlier, we cannot do without attachment. Attachment, that we must have. The objective of attachment is a constant. Objective of attachment is a variable. This is statistics. So, yeah, the recommendation is that we should have attachment for Krishna. How do we do that? We think about Krishna. The strategy is that we develop attachment for Krishna by thinking of Krishna. Krishna said, Man mana always think of me. Engage in mind, always thinking of me. Now, in our conditioned state, this is very difficult. Or impractical. To think of Krishna always. And therefore, there are procedures that we can follow to practice on how to get to that level where we can think of Krishna all the time. So we have, for instance, chanting Krishna's names. We do that, we practice doing that every morning. And we can become properly situated in that. And even with that, the beads that we use in chanting, we can bring them to Krishna. It's a matter of practice. So there's a common adage, practice makes perfect. It's by practice. Any subject matter that we don't know, no matter how difficult it is, if we read it, for instance, you're doing a course in a university, the course might be very challenging. I remember when we were doing a PhD level statistics, when I was doing the doctoral program, and it was so difficult that I had to read those books over and over again. It was so difficult. So, but then I passed. Not only passed, I got 90 plus, A plus. Even the most difficult subject course in the management PhD program, by practicing it, by going through it over and over again. So when we practice something, you see these powerful musicians, they don't have any rest. They are constantly rehearsing. I can tell you the life of Michael Jackson. Always, his mind is like, he's going like this. Every time he's thinking of something to generate. And because that desire is there, they get the facilitation from the super soul. Even some of the scientists. I know the case of Archimedes, his mind was, reading on what he was working on. And at some point in time, the super soul gave him some inspiration. Boom! The answer just came. So, by practice, rehearsal, we will get to that level where just spontaneously we'll be thinking of Krishna. This is the legacy that the Chinese have left behind for us. I mean, it's not something like it's undoable. It is doable because others have treaded on this path. They've achieved this goal by practicing with the chanting of the holiness, by engaging in different devotional activities, doing very work, cooking, cleaning, everything we do in devotional service is part of that process. It helps us to bring us to that level where we can think of Krishna. Why? Because each time we engage in any activity, we get purified. The doors on the mirror of the heart is being cleansed. Each time we engage in some service, the more we engage in services, the more the faster the dust or the mirror of the heart is completely cleansed up. Yeah, so this is something that we need to reflect on and consider taking it seriously. Yes. And we'll see, it's a science. We'll see it. But he was always having fun with his deer. he was thinking about it. He couldn't stay without it. If we can act like Bhagavatam, thinking of Krishna in that way, in this life, not next life, in this life, we go back to God. Yeah. See, devotional service, let us not make it complicated. It's a simple process. We just have to follow, be guided. And how to remain in this world without imposing our attachment for objects of attachment, because these things they lead us into trouble. And it's so simple, it's so easy to get into trouble in this world. Okay, I'll give you a gross example. The so-called love affair in the material world. So here, and I've seen this in America. A young man and a young woman, they married, and then, a lady is pretty in a good position, so he gives the love, gives the facilities, everything for years. And then the man develops intense attachment on her, and then she dumps him. He said, I'm moving on, and next to the wife. I'm gone. They said, what happened? Go on to the next phase. Divorce is just a common denominator these days. And sometimes people commit suicide. Why? Because of the attachment. It's not that they cannot get another spouse. It's not that they cannot get another man or another woman, because of the intense attachment. So this thing that is being discussed in this very chapter, it's a serious thing. It has caused people's death. People commit suicide because of attachment. I remember one of my close friends, the wife divorced him. He's a scientist. The wife divorced him. He's a scientist. He almost committed suicide. I would be on the phone with him every day for about 2 hours, consecutively for about 10 days. It's not that you cannot get another woman out there. If he goes to make advertisement, hey, I have a PhD in this field, and this is my specialty, and then a woman of this height, of this color, the eyes should be either red, blue, white, whatever. He will get so many applications. But no! You don't want to think about that. The attachment. You glued into it. Yes, so it could be dangerous. Because if your object of attachment even leaves the planet, sometimes some people, they cannot contain it. I know the case where in one country there were these military top brass. They just finished their graduation. These lieutenants and all people who went to special cadets and all this in the military school. So they finished, and they had families. They boarded a plane, was going to another city. The plane crashed, and almost all of them died. Some of their wives couldn't continue the committed suicide. Rather, attached. It's intense. It's very intense. It kills at the point. It takes birth, and the lower species, that is death. That is killing. So, yeah, we should remain, if even we have pets, we should remain detached from the pets. And then the next question is how to remain detached from the pets. Right? Yeah, so it is a big challenge. And Prabhupada just said it all. People who are attached to dogs and cats. These days, I've watched some of these programs. These days, there are all these really like heavy bulls, okay? And people kill them. And they talk to them. I've seen one of them that, the lady says something, and this bull is huge and not a normal dog, real terrible looking. And then he says something that it's not yet time for dinner. And then she jumps up. Yeah. He's upset that, come on, it's time for my dinner. The lady said, no, it's not yet time for your dinner. They communicate with their masters or with their mistresses. And these people, they are attached to this stuff, these objects, these pets. If someone is willing, writing a will, putting all their money for their dog, imagine what they will be thinking at the time of death. So Bharat Maharaj is just one single case. There are so many small Bharat Maharajas on the planet. He was very advanced in spirituality, devotion. But then Prabhupada said, even notwithstanding his advancement, because of this attachment, he got into trouble. What about the people who are keeping dogs, cats, pigs, whatever? Who do not even understand anything about spirituality, about the identity of those embodied souls that they're keeping in the home. They just attach to their bodies, to their form, and everything else. How they respond to them, how they disagree with them. Now these days, the dogs, they're trained and they're so smart. You do one thing, they will hold your hand, I've seen that. So, and this creates a lot of attachment for the owners. The dog is communicating, is relating with them like a real loved one. So, it increases the attachment. The problem is that if one ends up remembering these pets, then that's not good. So we should repose our affection in Krishna. If you even have a pet in the home, don't get too attached to the pet. Be detached and thinking of Krishna. Krishna said, Yes, any other comment or question? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I have a question that refers to the purport in verse 12. How to increase our faith in Krishna.
How to increase our faith in Krishna. Yeah, simple. You come to the programs, you participate in the program, you read proper books, you chant every day, and don't depend on your 16 rounds. 16 rounds is just the minimum. The more you chant, the more you increase your faith in Krishna. Because the more you become purified. The chanting helps to facilitate purification. So the chanting is not different from Krishna. Reading is also like doing puja. Because when you are engaged in devotional activities, you begin to have the lived experience of the importance, the value of those very activities, how they are directly related with Krishna. Now I know another case of, the Pujari, Shingadev Pujari in Mayapur. Shingadev sometimes comes to him to give him some instructions. And that basically develops heavy attachment because you know this what I'm doing is not some idol worship. Yeah, so engagements, different activities, being service oriented, all this they have to purify, cleanse the dust and the mirror, mind of the condition. So these very activities help to increase our faith in Krishna. And when we have lived experience, we have that conviction. Yeah, deep inside. Okay, we stop here. This is already 1 minute above beyond the time. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Bhakti Vasudeva Swami ki jai.